Why do awakened people suddenly step away from the life everyone else calls normal? Why do chosen ones, seekers of wisdom and those on a spiritual journey, often distance themselves from the rules, traditions, and habits that seem so natural to the crowd? The answer isn't rebellion. It isn't laziness. It isn't arrogance. It's something hidden, something powerful. And once you understand it, your own experience of spiritual awakening will begin to make sense in ways you never imagined. Because walking away is not an escape. It is a return to clarity, a return to freedom, and a return to a deeper consciousness shift that the world cannot explain but your soul immediately recognizes. Picture society as a giant machine. Every part has its function, every person their role. Study hard, get a degree, work long hours, buy things you don't need to impress people who don't notice. Repeat the cycle. For most, this is unquestioned reality. But when awakening begins, when your higher consciousness expands, something cracks. You see the gears turning. You notice the noise. You ask, why are we doing this? And that single question is enough to shake the entire foundation. Imagine sitting at a play, watching actors perform. Everyone around you is clapping, laughing, crying at the right moments. But then you see something. A slip in the costume, a microphone wire, a spotlight moving the wrong way. Suddenly you know it's an act. Everyone else is still absorbed in the illusion, but you can't unsee the truth. That's what spiritual awakening feels like. It's not that the play is bad. It's that it's no longer real to you. Here's the twist most don't realize. Walking away from norms doesn't mean you stop caring about life. You care even more. You care about authenticity, about purpose, about living with meaning instead of chasing endless appearances. You care about your energy, your time, your mind, your peace. That caring makes shallow conversations unbearable. It makes blind competition feel like a trap. It makes social masks feel heavy on your skin. So you walk away, not from people, but from pretending. Let me tell you a story you may recognize. A person grows up always doing what was expected. School, career, relationships. They follow the script perfectly. But deep inside, something feels missing. They wake up in the middle of the night wondering, is this it? Is this what life is supposed to be? That whisper is the beginning of awakening. It starts soft, but it gets louder. Until one day they realize they've been living a life written by someone else. That's when the break begins, not out of anger, out of clarity. But society doesn't take it well. The moment you step outside the box, people notice. They whisper, you've changed. They call you strange. They say you're wasting your potential. Why? Because your freedom threatens their comfort. If you walk away from the script, others might question theirs, and questioning is the most dangerous act in a system built on blind repetition. Here's the hidden energy behind this. Every environment has a frequency. Crowds, gossip, constant consumption. These carry heavy energy. Awakened people become sensitive to it. They feel drained in places, others feel entertained. They sense the weight in conversations others call fun. They notice the emptiness in goals others call success. Their intuition sharpens. Their inner compass speaks louder. And that compass doesn't point toward more of the same. It points away from what's false, toward what feels real. Of course, this walking away is misunderstood. People think spiritual seekers are rejecting life. But look closely. They're not rejecting life. They're rejecting illusions. They're not running from responsibility. They're embracing a higher responsibility. To live in alignment, to honor truth, to follow wisdom rather than noise. They'd rather be genuine and alone than fake and applauded. And that choice is terrifying to those still attached to masks. Think of it like leaving a crowded concert. The music is too loud, the lights too bright, the crowd too suffocating. Everyone else seems to enjoy it, but you feel drained. You step outside, suddenly silence, fresh air, space to breathe. At first it feels odd, like maybe you're missing out. But then you realize you've never felt more alive. That's what awakening feels like. That's why chosen ones step back. Yet walking away isn't without cost. Old friends may fade. Family might not understand. You'll be told you're lost. But here's the irony. You're actually finding yourself. And what you discover on the other side is priceless. You begin to value peace over popularity, freedom over fitting in, growth over approval. That's when loneliness transforms into clarity. And clarity attracts the right tribe, people who see, feel, and live at the frequency you do. This is where the hidden reason shines. Awakened people don't walk away to escape life. They walk away to live it more fully. They walk away to hear their own thoughts, to listen to their own intuition, to align their choices with their true values. And in doing so, they expose something society doesn't want seen. That much of what we call normal is actually unnatural. That chasing without asking, copying without questioning, obeying without thinking, that's the real abnormality. And here's something few admit. Walking away isn't always graceful. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it feels like losing everything. Job, friends, relationships, status. But what's really happening is shedding. Shedding roles that don't fit. Shedding masks that suffocate. Shedding attachments that limit. And what emerges after the shedding is the real you. The one you were before society told you who to be. The chosen ones who go through this discover a paradox. They have less but feel more. Less noise, more clarity. Less stuff, more freedom. Less approval, more authenticity. Society tells you to add and add and add, as if piling up more will fill the emptiness. But awakened people learn the opposite, the art of subtraction. They remove what's false so the truth can breathe. And here's where the wisdom deepens. Walking away doesn't mean isolation forever. It means recalibration. It means stepping back long enough to see clearly, to grow roots, to stabilize your inner compass. Then, when you re-enter the world, you engage differently. You don't follow blindly. You don't chase endlessly. You don't sell your soul for validation. You participate with awareness. That's the difference. People often ask, but what about success? What about achievement? Here's the secret. Spiritual people redefine success. It's no longer about trophies, titles, or likes. It's about peace when you wake up, alignment when you choose, freedom when you live. Success becomes internal, not external. And when that happens, society can't control you anymore. That is the hidden reason, the power society fears most. The higher your consciousness rises, the harder it is to pretend. Pretend that meaningless conversations excite you. Pretend that chasing things fulfills you. Pretend that following every rule is natural. So you walk away. Not because you hate the world, but because you love your soul more. Not because you're selfish, but because you know authenticity serves everyone better than pretense ever could. And yes, there's loneliness. Yes, there are moments of doubt. But that's the price of awakening. It's the silence before new music. The emptiness before true fullness. The pause before transformation. And in that space you realize you never actually lost anything. You only lost illusions. What you gain, clarity, freedom, alignment, is far greater than anything you left behind. So if you feel like you don't belong to the old norms, if the rules of society feel suffocating, if your soul craves something deeper, maybe it's not that you're broken. Maybe it's that you're awakening. Maybe you're one of the chosen ones who sees through the script. And maybe walking away isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your real one. The hidden reason is simple. When you stop following the crowd, you start following your soul. That's the shift. That's the transformation. And once you step into it, there's no going back. If this message connected with you, thank you for staying with me until the end. Like and subscribe, not because it's routine, but because it's a sign that your journey and mine resonate. Together, we'll keep walking this path of wisdom, clarity, and higher consciousness.